president's trade policy is going to do a lot of economic damage.
Today on the Morning Edition, more than $2 trillion of the stock market's value wiped out in a single day after President Trump unveils sweeping global tariffs. How this will impact you. Plus, a full throttle farewell. 16-year-old Tucker Challenge lived for the mountains, the snow, and the sound of a two-stroke engine. It was a powerful send-off for a teen who embraced Alaska with everything he had. And later.
I didn't get any. Oh.
The viral cookie challenge, putting little ones to the test. If they have 2 cookies and you have none, will they share it or snack it? As the Morning Edition starts now. Good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. Those videos are so funny. Have you seen them?
I haven't. I'm looking forward to it. But I know if a cookie was placed in front of me, I would not have any restraint to just like hold back from eating it.
But the little kids, though, seeing how they react differently, it's funny. It's a good lesson to teach, too, as well.
Looking forward to hearing about that later this morning. But as far as what we're dealing with across the state, we do have that winter weather that continues out towards the Aleutians, southwest Alaska, the Gulf of Alaska opening up. We've already got widespread rain that is spreading through the Gulf Coast area, or at least the northern Gulf Coast region. And those temperatures are sitting in the upper 30s and the lower 40s to start off the morning. Now, we are going to see that cloud coverage staying with us today, calling it mostly cloudy to overcast conditions for a large portion of South Central. We're at 38 degrees currently, and you can see how that rain has been building in through the overnight hours. The bulk of the precip out towards the Gulf Coast region, and of course we are seeing some light showers pushing through parts of the Susitna Valley this morning. We could see a bit more sunshine peaks as you head into the valley later today. Overall, though, we are going to see that cloud coverage remaining with us. There's our area of low pressure. Still to the south of the Aleutians. This is where we're continuing to hold on to gusty conditions, heavy snowfall, even seeing some areas of heavy snow as well as wintry mix as you head out towards southwest Alaska. This is where we do have those winter weather advisories as well as blizzard warnings, primarily for Nunivak Island and out towards the Kuskokwim Delta coastline. Notice as you head inland out towards Bethel, we've got some of that snow showers that continue this morning. That combined with winds, which have been gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour, leading to some lowering visibility as well as the potential for some of that blowing snow that will stay with us through the remainder of today. So that's going to continue to be those impacts here over the next couple of hours. Of course, yesterday, the greatest impacts were felt through the Aleutians, which you'll still feel today. But now we're going to see some of those greater impacts shifting out towards southwest Alaska, where we're seeing those winter weather advisories as well as blizzard warnings. In addition to that, you can see those winds still gusting anywhere from about 20 to nearly 60 miles per hour through the Aleutians out towards the Pribilof Islands. This is where we are also going to see that potential for some lowering visibility through the Pribilofs. As far as here in South Central, yes, the Gulf has opened back up. We are going to see some spotty to isolated activity for inland areas, but the bulk of the precip will stay for coastal regions. So coming up in my full forecast, we'll be talking about that. Still warm across a good portion of the state, back into the upper 40s through the interior. Fairbanks at 49 degrees.
We have tariffs, they've been set, and it's going to make our country very rich.
The president made one of the dumbest decisions in history.
Well, it'll raise our costs, for sure.
Wall Street was rattled after President Donald Trump's historic tariff announcement spiked fears his policy could trigger a global recession. All 3 major indices posted their worst day since 2020. More than $2 trillion of the U.S. stock market's value were wiped out in Thursday's stock slump. This morning, all eyes on the world's market as nations across the globe react to President Trump's new import taxes. But now the president is hinting that he's open to negotiations. As you wake up, Alice Barr has what...
Amid a major market sell-off, Wall Street's worst day since the depths of the pandemic, President Trump downplaying the reaction to his sweeping new tariffs, arguing the economy is like a sick patient in recovery.
The operation's over, and now we let it settle in.
The global trade war, though, may only be ramping up. Trading partners from the European Union to the UK and Canada preparing retaliation.
That it's intended and will cause maximum impact in the United States.
President Trump suggesting the tariffs could change, framing them as a negotiating tool with other nations.
We're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation.
The breadth and scope of the administration's tariffs overall rocking many small businesses like Rhoda Auto Repair that doesn't control where parts come from in a global supply chain.
It's steel and aluminum that goes into those parts. It's where those parts come from and are sourced and where they are manufactured.
All of that expected to drive up prices, and Democrats are hammering the impact on American consumers.
The Yale Budget Office projects that it will cost the average family $3,800 more this year.
As forecasters like J.P. Morgan up the chances of a global recession, administration officials are making a full court press to reassure.
We're going to have a booming stock market for a long time because we're reinvesting in the United States of America.
Adamant the tariff strategy will bring American manufacturing and jobs back to the U.S., a process economists warn may take years. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And that's leaving many Alaskans wondering what the market nosedive will mean for their money. Economists are concerned about a recession and global trade war as baseline 10% tariffs on all countries go into effect Saturday, with higher rates planned for other countries. An Anchorage financial advisor says something similar happened in the first Trump administration.
So 2018, when all those tariffs came out and then we had escalation from Europe and other things, markets didn't do well. It was up and down, a lot of volatility, ended the year down a little over 4%. 2019, though, we started to put these tariffs together and, okay, we cut some tariffs back here. There's some deals made. Market was up over 30%. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but this is not unprecedented having all the stuff thrown up against the wall. And then we see, well, they work through it and trying to use it as a negotiation tool. I mean, this is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint.
With the stock market drop, Alaska oil prices that pay for the state budget fell by $3.51 to about $73 a barrel. Also new this morning, Alaska's U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski is urging the Trump administration to reverse staff cuts that threaten a program critical to Alaska's safety. She joined a bipartisan group of senators calling on Health and Human Services to reinstate staff who run the low-income Home Energy Assistance Program, a program that helped bring $21 million to Alaska last year to help low-income families pay for heating. Without that team, nearly $400 million in remaining federal funds nationwide could be delayed, just as Alaskans begin planning for next winter. Alaska Planned Parenthood officials say the same federal funding freeze could have catastrophic impacts on patient care. The Department of Health and Human Services has halted $1 million in Title X funding for Alaska, money used for services like birth control, cancer screenings, and STD testing, but not abortions, which are prohibited under federal law. The White House says the freeze is part of a review to ensure compliance with Trump-era executive order on immigration and civil rights law.
Without this funding and without Alaskans being able to access care under this program, cancers will go undetected. There will be more unplanned pregnancies because of the lack of access to this health care.
In a statement, the administration says HHS is reviewing the funding to ensure compliance with federal law and grant terms and to be responsible with taxpayer dollars. Planned Parenthood says it's considering legal action. The freeze impacts 16 organizations in several states, and so far, the White House has not responded to Alaska's news sources' request for comment. Turning now to Capitol coverage, wildfire prevention funding is part of a supplemental spending bill passed by the Alaska House, and senators could take it up today. House Bill 56, addressing millions in budget shortfalls. The supplemental appropriations bill includes more than $13 million for wildland fire suppression efforts, about $29 million for disaster relief, $6.5 million for Alaska Marine Highway System work and maintenance, and more. It passed 21-19, but some lawmakers said they felt left out of the process.
When asked why there were things in this budget that were not necessarily fast-tracked in this supplemental budget, we were told, oh, well, we got together in a room and decided what was going to be in there. We didn't get together with you. We didn't get to decide what was going to be in this fast-track budget. The minority was completely excluded from this.
I was also excluded. I was excluded. This is the governor's budget. I don't know what else to tell you. No one from our caucus said, Andy, can I have this thing in here? There's nothing there. This is the governor's budget. So I'm excluded. I share that sentiment. I'm excluded.
Lawmakers later voted against using the Constitutional Budget Reserve, or CBR, to help cover costs. The CBR is a special state savings account that can only be accessed under specific conditions. Governor Dunleavy speaking out after the Senate Education Committee passed an education funding bill earlier this week. In a post on X, he said House Bill 69 falls short, arguing that funding alone won't improve student outcomes. The governor says real improvement comes from strong policies and meaningful reform. The minimum age to serve alcohol in Alaska could soon drop from 21 to 18. The House passed Senate Bill 15 by a 32-8 vote, allowing younger servers to handle liquor and requiring new cancer warning signs at alcohol-serving businesses. It now returns to the Senate for final approval. Also new this morning, he lived for the ride and his community made sure he got one last send-off. Take a look. Drone video here captures the moment dozens gathered outside Soldotna High School to honor Tucker Challenge. His friends brought their snow machines and fired them up to give him a two-stroke send-off, a sound Tucker knew and loved. Tucker was killed in an avalanche in Turnagain Pass, but those who knew him say his spirit is forever woven into the land he called home. He was just 16 years old. We'll be right back. Alaskans know how to savor every last flurry of winter, and Tuesday night at Kincaid Park was proof. Under sunny skies and smiles, skiers of all ages took to an 800-meter loop for the first and last Tuesday night race of the season. Usually a monthly tradition, this one felt more like a celebration, with local youth sharing the trail with Olympians like Gus Schumacher. Put on by the Nordic Ski Association, UAA, and APU, it was a perfect way to say goodbye to winter, at least until the roller skis come out. Yeah, it's been a beautiful week, Aaron, but sounds like there might be some showers in our future.
Yeah, we're already beginning to see that Gulf Coast rain beginning to build into the coastal regions. Inland areas largely going to be spared from most of the rain, but we could see a chance for some of that spotty to isolated showers through the rest of today and on into the weekend. You can see ongoing snow showers as you head out towards the Aleutians, parts of the Pribilofs, where we're seeing those temperatures in the 20s and the 30s. And then, of course, as you head through parts of southwest Alaska, we're seeing some snow through the Kuskokwim Delta and the Yukon Delta. Meanwhile, through Bristol Bay, warm enough temperatures, keeping things all rain in the forecast. So there's our storm system we continue to watch. And you can see just the amount of moisture that we're seeing associated with it that's pushing through southwest Alaska. There is no radar out towards the Aleutians, so we're not seeing the actual radar product for what we're seeing for the eastern Aleutians. But heavy snowfall continues. Notice out towards the western Aleutians, we do have that ridge of high pressure. Embedded within both that ridge of high pressure and that low, we've got that persistent northerly flow. That's driving in those colder conditions. That's leading to those ongoing snow showers. We're also seeing those winds gusting anywhere from about 40 to 65 miles per hour. And those temperatures today will continue to remain fairly chilly. So our trough has been digging to the south. You can see our ridge still with us, although it continues to shift to the east. And as it does, it's allowing that moisture to build back in across the Gulf Coast region. You can see coastal regions of South Central. We've got already seeing some of that widespread rain, and then the outer coast of the Panhandle beginning to see some of that rain pushing into the region. Inland areas of South Central largely on the dry side, but we can't rule out a stray shower or two throughout the day. But you can see here over the next couple of days how it's really going to favor coastal regions out towards Kodiak, where we're going to see the bulk of the precip from today on into the weekend. Now, again, inland areas, we could see a passing shower or two. We may even see some sunshine breaks as we welcome in the weekend here over the next couple of days, but largely expecting this active weather pattern to remain with us. So when we look at that forecast precip total, we're talking about the potential that western parts of Prince William Sound, southern parts of the Kenai could easily see about anywhere from 1 to 6 inches of that rain accumulation. Of course, that higher amounts will be out towards Whittier, Portage Valley. You can see lower amounts from Homer, where we could see likely less than a half an inch of rainfall. But really, western parts of the Kenai through the Anchorage Bowl and into the valley, you can see largely shielded from the bulk of this precip. So we are just going to hold on to some of those hit or miss shower opportunities through the rest of today and into the weekend with that heavy coastal rain remaining. Looking at that day planner today, despite the cloud coverage, still warming quite nicely. into the 40s and even seeing some 50s across South Central today. We could even see some breaks in the clouds for inland locations while those overcast skies remain as you head out towards coastal regions. So daily highs continue to remain upper 40s to near 50 degrees. You can see that chance for some showers carries us through Monday. Now, we could still see some of that coastal activity through the middle of next week, but as far as inland locations, largely expected to stay dry as we welcome in next week. You can see, though, that cloud coverage remaining with us, just some peaks of sunshine here over the next week or so.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Covering the interior, Fairbanks got slammed with heavy snow this week, raising questions about whether studded tire deadlines in the interior could be extended. The Department of Transportation is monitoring conditions and reporting to the Department of Public Safety, which would make any calls on changing that deadline. For now, no extension is planned. Officials say they're more concerned about melting snow causing water flow issues and the potential damage studded tires can do to roads.
With snowstorms that are happening maybe later in the spring, we're always evaluating. So when we do weight restrictions for our larger motor vehicles, we're always evaluating the roads. Same goes for the studded tires.
The DOT says drivers should plan to remove studded tires by May 1st. If you're north of the 60th parallel, those to the south have until April 15th. In Fairbanks, spring means pothole season, and the DOT plans to start patching problem areas this weekend. Chena Pump Road, the Mitchell Expressway, and busy intersections are common trouble spots. The DOT urges drivers to slow down and watch for puddles, which can hide deep holes, especially during breakup season when road damage peaks.
The water will seep into the asphalt, and when it freezes overnight, because we still drop below freezing temperatures, the water freezes and it will expand, and then once it melts again, it leaves that gap in the asphalt.
The problem only gets worse as more cars and trucks drive over damaged areas. The DOT has a webpage where Alaskans can report potholes. You can find the link on our website and mobile app. Following up on the Anchorage election, Proposition 11, which would raise property taxes to help replace aging police vehicles, is currently failing. The $3 million measure would add $7.55 per $100,000 in property value. APD says the upgrade is needed with many vehicles pushing 150 to 200,000 miles, leaving Anchorage's vehicles behind the industry standard other departments can expect.
There's just a lot of wear and tear on those vehicles, and they become unreliable. So an officer may start their shift or go through a portion of their shift and their vehicle goes down. Now they have to, and it's happened where they've been en route to emergency situations and their vehicle won't make it. They have to pull off the side of the road and we have to call a tow truck.
The Coast Guard has officially commissioned its newest cutter, the John Witherspoon, during a ceremony in Kodiak Thursday. The Fast Response Cutter is the first of 3 headed to Coast Guard Base Kodiak and will patrol the Aleutians, Bering Sea, and Gulf of Alaska. Named after Captain John G. Witherspoon, a trailblazer and mentor in Coast Guard history, whose daughter, seen wearing purple there, was on hand. The vessel is equipped for search and rescue, fishery patrols, and national defense.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.